We navigate our daily lives using rigid measurements. A year is always a year. An hour is an hour. And directions like up and down are absolute concepts anchored by the physical pull of gravity. Once you leave the gravitational field of Earth, those familiar rules collapse. In the vacuum of space, your standard instruments fail to capture the objective reality of your environment. Without gravity to orient you, your own physical senses become unreliable. If your spacecraft accelerates towards the stars, the physical sensation may tell your brain that you are actually descending. This physical disorientation mirrors a law of the human soul. To reach a higher state of development, you must first be willing to travel downward into yourself. At the center of your unconscious sits what is known as an image. This is a rigid emotional conclusion, formed in the past, that operates as an invisible wall. It dictates your reactions to the world, casting a long shadow over your current life. Because these images hide far below your waking awareness, relying on your conscious virtues often proves insufficient. Finding true clarity requires you to leave the safety of the surface and plunge into the disorienting depths of your own mind. Approaching the unconscious requires a specific mindset. You must leave your moralizing or judgmental attitudes behind. Your unconscious mind will resist and fight back if you approach it with judgment. To get past its defenses, you must look at your internal faults as manifestations of simple ignorance and error, rather than moral failings. This deep dive often brings a sense of shock. You will likely discover that you still harbor flaws you thought you had successfully outgrown years ago, as they often exist on separate, deeper levels of your being. You may also encounter tendencies that directly contradict your conscious identity. A person who is objectively brave in their outer life might uncover a layer of cowardly reactions hiding in the shadows of their psyche. Discovering these contradictions often triggers an acute sense of shame. Because this experience is internal, you may feel isolated, believing that you are the only one who harbors such hidden darkness. This shame is a symptom of the image itself. By recognizing that everyone experiences this internal struggle, you strip the shame of its power and dissolve the phantom isolation keeping you in the dark. During the descent, many people fall into the trap of adopting a forced desirelessness or withdrawing from the world entirely. Withdrawal often functions as a sophisticated camouflage created by a hidden image to shield you from the fear of being hurt. Genuine peace only becomes possible once you acknowledge your actual desires and willingly risk the pain and disappointment of them not being met. Processing these difficult emotional truths requires depth prayer or meditation and active labor to integrate new findings into your personality. Intellectual understanding alone is not enough. Without this emotional work, your old patterns will continue to dictate your reactions. Spiritual development cannot bypass the experience of human pain. Only by moving directly through your desires and the hurts connected to them can you organically grow out of them. We often expect personal growth to move in a straight, continuous line upward. In reality, spiritual mechanics take the shape of a fluctuating spiral, constantly moving between upward climbs and downward curves. A downward curve brings periods of confusion and depression. During these times, you may feel entirely cut off from the divine stream or the clarity you previously enjoyed. These downward curves function as necessary excavations. This phase allows you to dig out the unresolved conflicts that have been blocking your path, eventually clearing the way for a higher level of understanding. As you repeatedly face your hidden shame and integrate your findings, the separating wall between yourself and others begins to crumble. Many traditional views mistake spirituality for a life of severe, unhappy martyrdom, as if being godly required a permanent state of suffering. The resulting peace is a byproduct of this inner labor. By working through the downward curves of the mind, you remove the internal obstacles of error and ignorance, making way for a state of harmony that remains stable regardless of external events.